Yeah, I think it could be a lot worse.
You got kind of a raw deal when your dad passed away.
Aaron Spelling was worth $600 million when he died. His daughter Tori had starred in Beverly Hills 90210 for 10 years. She helped build his legacy. But when the will was read, she received almost nothing. Her mother Candy got $599 million. Tori got $800,000. There was a no-contest clause that would take everything if she fought back. Years later, Tori was photographed living in a motel with her 5 children, then an RV, then a hospital. Her mother still had $600 million. What really went wrong between them? And why did no one challenge the will? The full story goes deeper than the headlines ever showed. Tori Spelling came into the world on May 16, 1973, right in Los Angeles, at a moment when her father, Aaron Spelling's television empire was at its peak. Her middle name, Davy, honored her grandfather David and the long family line that carried Jewish roots from Russia and Poland. By the time she was born, her parents had already been married for almost 5 years since November 23, 1968, and her little brother Randy would join the family on October 9, 1978. Her father was already known as the king of television because he had taken ABC and filled so much of its schedule that people joked the letters stood for Aaron's broadcasting company. Tori grew up with that kind of power swirling around her, and even her school reflected that world because she attended the exclusive Westlake School for Girls, which later joined with the Harvard School in 1991 to become Harvard Westlake. From the beginning, her life moved inside a world most kids never see, where fame, wealth, and influence were part of everyday air. That world felt even larger inside the home everyone called the manor. It sat on more than 6 acres in Beverly Hills and measured 5,500 square feet with 123 rooms, making it the largest private residence in all of Los Angeles County. Aaron bought the property in 1983 for $10.25 million from Patrick Frawley, who had earlier purchased it from Bing Crosby's estate. Crosby's 1932 mansion was torn down and replaced with Aaron's dream home, which cost another $12 million to build, and was completed in 1988 when Tori was 15. Adjusted for today, that price would sit near $48 million. The house rose 51.5 feet high with 2 main floors, a basement, and a hidden level above it meant just for closets. It was actually bigger than the White House, which is 55,000 square feet. Every day, more than 150 workers showed up to build it, using over 500 tons of steel and limestone shipped from the same Italian quarry, so the stone would match perfectly. Inside that enormous home, Tori wandered through rooms that most people only imagine in fantasy books. There were hidden passageways that opened when you pushed the right object, leading to secret chambers that made her childhood feel like a mystery adventure. Beneath the house, reached by stairs or elevator, a whole underground world stretched out. That was where you could find a 2-lane bowling alley, a shoe closet just for bowling, an arcade, 3 bars, a pool table room, a full doll museum with detailed replicas of Candy and Tori, and rooms so unusual that she barely remembers them all. There were 5 kitchens, a gym, a screening room, storage rooms for wrapping gifts, 16 carports, and enough parking for 100 cars. On the lower level, her father's awards filled an entire room, each one representing another mark of his impact on television. Visitors who came through those doors only made her world feel more surreal. The manor became a place where royalty and Hollywood legends mixed freely during the parties her parents hosted. Prince Charles and Princess Diana stayed there in 1994, and their suite was forever known as the Prince Charles Suite. Candy later said that every star from every one of Aaron's shows appeared at some point, along with figures like Prince Rainier and Jackie Kennedy. The kitchen had been designed to cook for 2 people or 800 people depending on the size of the event. For Tori, this became normal. You could be doing homework 1 minute and learn the next that royalty was sleeping down the hall. Meanwhile, Aaron Spelling's career kept climbing. By 1984, he owned such a huge part of ABC's primetime lineup that his 7 shows filled nearly half of the network's 15 hours of scripted programming. His work had shaped entire decades. In the 1970s, he launched hits like Charlie's Angels and The Love Boat. In the 1980s, he brought viewers Dynasty and T.J. Hooker. In the 1990s, he built new worlds with Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place, Seventh Heaven, and Charmed. These series didn't just entertain people, they influenced fashion, culture, and even how networks understood youth audiences. His success made him one of the wealthiest producers Hollywood had ever seen. Inside that environment, Tori started acting at age 6, when her father arranged for an acting coach. Soon, she appeared in small parts on shows like Vegado in 1981, The Love Boat in 1983, and Hotel that same year. More roles followed on Fantasy Island, T.J. Hooker, and even Saved by the Bell. By the time she was 17 in 1990, her father cast her as Donna Martin on Beverly Hills 90210. She stayed in that role for the full 10 years until the show ended in 2000. She earned award nominations and became a household name, though people often questioned whether she got there because of talent or because of her father's power. When 90210 was being cast, she tried to escape that shadow by using the name Tori Mitchell, borrowed from a character in one of Aaron's movies. She auditioned for Kelly Taylor and later for Andrea, hoping she could be judged fairly. But the attempt fell apart the moment she walked into the room. Everyone already knew who she was. She had appeared on her father's shows since childhood, and her face was impossible to hide. Aaron even joked about it around town, which only made the situation more awkward. He called casting directors, arranged meetings, and treated the whole incident as something funny. His attitude made it clear the process was never neutral, no matter how much Tori wished it had been. So when she got the part of Donna Martin, the backlash was immediate. The show premiered on October 4, 1990, and before the first episode even aired, people claimed she got the job only because of Aaron. Critics questioned her acting ability. Some cast members whispered doubts. Tori herself later admitted the casting probably had something to do with my dad. Her character started small, often delivering short responses, because the writers weren't sure how much she could handle. She became known as Kelly's quiet friend, rather than a strong presence. On set, things grew tense because everyone knew she had influence through her father, even if she didn't use it. Conflicts involving other stars carried extra weight simply because Tori was there. Aaron tried to ease criticism by setting one strict rule: Tori would be paid only SAG minimum wage, even though the show became a hit, and most actors negotiated higher salaries. Aaron thought paying her the minimum would show fairness. Instead, it only underlined the deeper issue. The pay didn't matter to critics, the casting did. Yet despite all the noise, Tori stayed with the role. She appeared in 292 episodes over all 10 seasons from 1990 to 2000. Her character grew from a shy background figure into someone with major storylines, including her long virginity arc that lasted until season 7. She eventually married David Silver in the series finale, giving longtime viewers a sense of closure. Even though the early controversies never fully disappeared, her endurance on the show proved she had more staying power than people expected. Beverly Hills 90210 turned into a global phenomenon. The show started slowly, ranking at number 88 in its first season with 14.2 million viewers. But everything changed in summer 1991 when Fox aired special episodes while other networks ran reruns. The audience climbed to 17.6 million in Season 2, jumping to under 48. By Season 4 in 1993-1994, ratings hit 21.7 million viewers. Some episodes reached 14.1% in ratings, and by the time the series finale aired in May 2000, more than 25 million people tuned in. It aired in more than 20 countries and built a worldwide fan base that embraced Tori along with the rest of the cast. She ended up appearing in 291 of the total 293 episodes, making her the cast member closest to a perfect attendance record. During this rise, she also broke into film. In 1994, she took on the lead role in A Friend to Die For, also known as Death of a Cheerleader, which was based on the tragic 1984 murder of Kirsten Costas. The movie aired exactly 10 years after the real event and became the highest-rated TV movie of that year. Tori's performance showed she could carry a role far removed from Donna Martin. Audiences responded, producers noticed, and new opportunities followed. Between 1997 and 2001, she appeared in several films that pushed her range. In Scream 2, she played herself and a fictional version of Sidney Prescott inside the movie within the movie called Stab. That same year, she acted in the independent film The House of Yes, which premiered at Sundance. Her role brought a Razzie nomination shared with her Scream 2 appearance, which became part of the playful meta-tone of her career. In 2001, she appeared in Scary Movie 2, leaning into comedy and satire. These choices showed she wasn't afraid of risk and wanted to explore everything from horror to dark comedy to indie drama. Awards also found her. In 1991, she won the Young Artist Award for Best Young Actress Guest Starring in a television series for her role on Saved by the Bell. She was only 18 and already receiving industry recognition that had nothing to do with her father's shows. She earned more nominations through 1992, proving she had comedic timing and dramatic ability, regardless of the criticism around her family name. In 1996, she starred in Mother, May I Sleep with Danger, a lifetime thriller so dramatic that it grew into a cult classic. Its title became part of 1990s pop culture. The movie became so iconic that in 2016, exactly 20 years later, James Franco produced a remake with Tori returning in a new role. This time, she played the mother in a vampire-themed version of the story. The fact that a TV movie earned a remake 2 decades later showed how deeply it had stayed in the public's memory. By the time 90210 finished its run on May 17, 2000, she had worked on more than 15 films and TV movies throughout the 1990s, while also appearing in nearly every episode of one of the biggest shows of the decade. She moved through thrillers, comedies, indie films, and television dramas without letting herself get boxed into one category. The Variety revealed her determination to grow beyond Donna Martin and prove herself in ways the audience did not expect. Her personal life soon drew as much attention as her career. On July 3, 2004, at age 31, she married actor and playwright Charlie Shanayan in a lavish wedding that cost around $1,000. The ceremony took place at her father's 56,000-square-foot estate, with about 400 guests and a per-guest cost of $1,100. She wore a Badgley Mishka gown, walked down the aisle with Aaron, and celebrated with a dinner catered by Wolfgang Puck. It all looked like a fairy tale built on old Hollywood glamour. But everything changed quickly. In July 2005, only 14 months after the wedding, she met actor Dean McDermott while filming the Lifetime movie Mind Over Murder in Ottawa. Both of them were married at the time, yet they connected instantly and began an affair the very night they met. Tori's marriage to Charlie had barely begun. Dean had been married to Mary Jo Eustace for 13 years. The shock rippled through both families. By August 2005, Tori and Charlie had separated, and the scandal spread across tabloids. The timing made everything even more painful because Dean and Mary Jo had just adopted a baby girl named Lola Elizabeth McDermott on July 7, 2005. Mary Jo held her when she was only 1 hour old, and their son Jack cried as he held his new sister for the first time. After years of fertility struggles and miscarriages, Lola's arrival had been a miracle for their family. Dean later wrote that he fell instantly in love with her. Yet only weeks after bringing Lola home, he met Tori and began the affair that ended his marriage. Years later on her reality show True Tori in 2014, Tori admitted that she had loved Charlie, but had never felt in love with him. She said meeting Dean changed everything. and confessed that she had regrets about how she ended her marriage. She felt she had not handled things properly and had carried guilt for years. By October 2005, Charlie filed for divorce, asking the court to block Tori from receiving spousal support and requesting she pay his legal fees. Their divorce was finalized on April 20th, 2006, after 20 months of marriage. Dean's divorce from Mary Jo was completed in February 2006. During that process, he gave up his legal parental rights to baby Lola, so the adoption would not be jeopardized. Less than 3 weeks after Tori's divorce was finalized, she married Dean on May 7, 2006, in a private ceremony in Fiji. The speed of these events became international headlines. The New York Post went as far as calling her a marriage-wrecking actress. Mary Jo became a sympathetic figure through all of this. In interviews, she described the moment Dean told her about the affair. She said she cried uncontrollably and asked him if he planned to divorce her and marry Tori. His answer was yes. She said she initially thought he was joking because they had been married 13 years, had just moved to Los Angeles, and had only recently brought baby Lola into their home. Their son, Jack, had bonded with his new sister instantly, and the whole family had been preparing for a new beginning. Instead, everything collapsed. In April 2024, she told People magazine that the ongoing drama around Tori and Dean felt repetitive and exhausting, calling it rinse, lather, and repeat. Aaron Spelling died on June 23, 2006, inside the house that had come to symbolize his power and success. The manor in Beverly Hills was not just a home, it was a 56,500 square foot statement. He was 83 years old, and his death came only 5 days after a devastating stroke on June 18th. What quietly changed everything was what appeared on his death certificate. Alzheimer's disease was listed as a contributing cause. That single line would later hang over every decision tied to his estate. Years earlier, in 2001, Aaron had already been diagnosed with oral cancer. By 2006, his health was collapsing from multiple directions at once. The stroke moved fast, and he died at home instead of in a hospital. His funeral was private. He was laid to rest in a mausoleum at Hillside Memorial Park Cemetery in Culver City. At the time, most people focused on the loss of a television legend. Only later did the Alzheimer's diagnosis raise serious questions about how clearly he understood the decisions he made near the end. What he left behind was one of the largest fortunes Hollywood had ever seen. Estimates placed it between $500,000 and $600,000. This was not just cash. It was an empire that kept earning money long after his death. At the center was the manor itself, built in 1991 on 4.7 acres of prime Los Angeles land. The house had 123 rooms, including 14 bedrooms and 27 bathrooms. There were rooms designed just for wrapping gifts, cutting flowers, and getting haircuts. Nearly 30 staff members worked there while the family lived inside. Beyond the mansion, Aaron owned a river of television royalties. Shows like Beverly Hills, 90210, Dynasty, Melrose Place, Charmed, and dozens more continued to generate tens of millions every year through syndication. Real estate holdings and long-term investments added even more weight. Even after he was gone, the estate kept pulling in enormous annual income. Then the timing of his will surfaced, and the story took a darker turn. Aaron changed his will just 2 months before his death. At that point, Alzheimer's disease was already affecting him enough to appear on his death certificate. The change was not small. It slashed what his children would receive. Tori and Randy Spelling went from previous 8-figure expectations to just $800,000 each. For legal experts, the timing alone raised alarms. Major estate changes made so close to death are always examined closely. When cognitive decline is involved, the scrutiny becomes even sharper. Alzheimer's can impair judgment, memory, and understanding, especially in its later stages. Yet, despite the red flags, no legal challenge was ever filed. The will stood exactly as it was written. When the estate was finally executed, the numbers shocked nearly everyone. Out of roughly $600,000, Tori Spelling received $800,000. That amounted to about 0.13% of her father's fortune. Her brother Randy received the same amount. Their mother, Candy Spelling, received approximately $519,000 to $100,000. She was not only the primary beneficiary, but also the sole trustee of the trust. That gave her full control over the entire estate. Estate planners later noted how unusual that setup was, especially for a fortune of that size and with adult children involved. The situation felt even colder because Tori and Candy were estranged at the time. Tori later confirmed the $800,000 figure publicly. She admitted it was a lot of money in normal terms, but almost meaningless compared to what her father left behind. Details of the will only made the pain sharper. Some household staff members received amounts that, while smaller, highlighted how little Tori and Randy were left. The family's interior decorator was given $50,000. Candy's manicurist received $25,000. These were not relatives. They were service providers. When compared to Tori's inheritance, the decorator received 6.25% of what Aaron's daughter received, and the manicurist received just over 3%. For Tori, who had starred in Beverly Hills 90210 for all 10 seasons, one of her father's most successful shows, the message felt brutal. Randy later described growing up in the mansion as living inside a fantasy that left him unprepared for real life. Bowling alleys, screening rooms, an ice rink, and multiple gift-wrapping rooms made normal adulthood feel distant. When the money disappeared, the fall was sudden and disorienting. The will also included a powerful legal trap. A no-contest clause was written into the trust. If anyone challenged the will and lost, they would forfeit everything they were given. For Tori, this created a painful choice. She could accept $800,000 or challenge the will and risk walking away with nothing at all. Even with Alzheimer's listed as a contributing cause of death and the suspicious timing of the changes, the risk was enormous. No contest clauses exist to stop exactly this kind of legal fight, and in this case, it worked perfectly. Neither Tori nor Randy filed a challenge. The $800,000 effectively held her silence. One moment stayed with Tori more than any legal detail. Before Aaron died, he told her that $800,000 should be enough for her to be set for life. She later said he did not understand the value of money anymore. The disconnect was staggering. A man who built a $600,000 television empire believed his daughter could survive forever on less than 0.2% of it. In 2006, $800,000 was not nothing. But for someone raised in a 56,500 square foot mansion with full-time staff, luxury travel, and private schools, it could never sustain that life. Years later, Tori would face lawsuits, unpaid taxes, and periods of living in motels and RVs. The contrast was impossible to ignore. Only weeks before her father died, Tori had made another life-changing decision. On May 7, 2006, she married Dean McDermott in an ultra-private ceremony on the island of Wakaya in Fiji. There were no guests, just the two of them. The timing stunned people. Aaron Spelling died on June 23rd, only a month later. Both Tori and Dean had rushed into the marriage immediately after finalizing their divorces from Charlie Shanian and Mary Jo Eustace. They had met in July 2005 while filming a Lifetime movie in Ottawa, and fell in love while still married to other people. The wedding happened quickly, and Tori's relationship with her father was still strained, which added another layer of tension to an already emotional period. Life kept moving fast. On March 13, 2007, Tori gave birth to her first child, Liam Aaron McDermott, in Los Angeles. The labor was difficult and ended in a cesarean section. The middle name Aaron was chosen to honor her father, who had died just 9 months earlier. Candy Spelling was present at the hospital, a rare moment of visible family support. Just 6 months after the wedding, Tori was already pregnant. Joy and grief overlapped in ways she could not separate. That same year, Tori and Dean launched a reality show called Tori and Dean in Love. They invested Tori's $800,000 inheritance into a bed and breakfast called Chateau LaRue, a 4,000-square-foot property on 8 acres in Fallbrook, California, about 100 miles southeast of Los Angeles. The show followed renovations, daily chaos, and their attempt to run a modern inn. Behind the scenes, neighbors claimed they were rarely there unless cameras were rolling. Tori was also 8 months pregnant while managing the project, adding pressure to an already risky investment. Dean also brought his son Jack into the family. Jack was born October 10, 1998. Tori met him when he was 6. Their relationship was awkward for years, especially during his teenage period, but later deepened after he came out. By 2017, Tori openly referred to him as her bonus son and celebrated watching him grow. By 2013, just 7 years after inheriting $800,000, Tori admitted she was broke. In her memoir, she described serious debt and financial ruin. When Oxygen canceled her show in 2012, the income vanished. Real estate flips failed. One Malibu home sold for $200,000 less than they paid. Even gas station stops turned into $50 shopping sprees. She admitted she never learned money management because business managers handled everything from the time she was 18. In 2014, Candy Spelling publicly revealed that Tori would spend $50,000 to $60,000 in single shopping trips and sometimes closed stores to shop privately. The comments were brutal and came as Tori was drowning in debt. By 2014, analysts estimated Tori and Dean had burned through about $18,000. That included failed real estate deals, luxury travel, a failed retail store, expensive cars, and constant overspending. In 2016, American Express sued her twice for unpaid balances totaling over $88,000. City National Bank sued for a $400,000 loan taken in 2010. By 2017, tax liens began piling up. By January 2023, unpaid federal and state taxes totaled over $300,000. By 2025 divorce filings, that number had grown past $1,700,000. Just days before Christmas in 2013, everything in Tori Spelling's life collapsed at once. On December 6th, her phone rang, and her publicist was on the line with news that would split her world open. Dean McDermott had been having an affair in Toronto. The woman was 28-year-old Emily Goodhand, someone he met during a group dinner at Pravda Vodka Bar on Wellington Street while promoting his Food Network show, Chopped Canada. What followed was not a rumor or a quiet mistake. According to Goodhand, the affair unfolded inside the Fairmont Royal York Hotel on Front Street, where they spent 2 nights together. The real devastation came next. Emily sold her story to US Weekly, which meant the details would explode everywhere just days before Christmas. Tori was 40 years old, 7 years into her marriage, with 4 children expecting a holiday season that instead turned into public ruin. As the story spread, it only grew more humiliating. Emily Goodhand gave long, graphic interviews that left nothing private. She claimed Dean told her his marriage was sexless and said she believed him. She described intimate moments in detail, saying they used protection the first night, and that Dean asked her to stay and cuddle afterward. She claimed that during the second night, around 1 a.m., Dean opened his laptop and showed her an image from a 2009 sex tape he had made with Tori. After his male friend left the room, they ordered a clubhouse sandwich and fries from the late-night menu. She said they did not have sex that second night, then ended her interview with a blunt apology, saying she messed up. Those details ran everywhere, turning a private betrayal into a global spectacle and dragging Tori's pain across headlines worldwide. Right after that phone call, Tori took Dean outside and confronted him. Later, she described her body betraying her in that moment. Her heart was racing so fast she could barely speak. Shock sat in her chest, and words would not come. What made it even stranger was that she chose to film herself talking through the pain for their reality show, forcing herself to relive the moment on camera. Years earlier, She had written about this exact fear in her book Uncharted Territory, admitting she panicked whenever the phone rang and a woman's voice answered. Now that fear was real. Dean later admitted he had broken her heart completely and destroyed her ability to trust anything in the relationship they had built over 7 years. Less than 2 months later, the situation spiraled further. On January 22, 2014, Dean McDermott was seen entering a rehabilitation facility in Los Angeles alone. He released a statement saying he took full responsibility and had voluntarily checked himself in to address personal and health issues. He said he wanted to become the husband and father his family deserved. Reports soon followed that the treatment was for sex addiction. He had actually been spotted at the same facility weeks earlier with Tori before checking in alone. Dean was 47 years old at the time, and the marriage was in free fall. Friends described Tori as being in crisis mode, while Dean's life felt like a nightmare closing in on itself. Then Tori made a decision that stunned everyone. Against Dean's wishes, she launched a reality series called True Tori in April 2014 on Lifetime. The goal was simple and brutal. Show everything. The affair, the therapy, the anger. Dean begged her to wait, asking for just a few months, but she refused. He agreed only out of guilt, and because Tori insisted their fans deserved the truth. Cameras filmed real therapy sessions with Dr. Wexler, and raw confrontations filled with pain. Friends said she was furious and wanted him to feel the damage he caused in front of millions of people. Tori defended herself publicly, saying this was not scripted television. This was her life. As the show aired, accusations exploded. Outlets like Jezebel and TMZ claimed the entire scandal was fabricated to secure a television deal. Jezebel questioned whether the couple faked the affair after their previous show ended in 2012. TMZ went even further, with claims that Emily Goodhand did not exist at all. Articles tore apart every detail, suggesting parts of the story were real but exaggerated for ratings. Despite the noise, E! News reported that sources confirmed the affair and rehab were real and not created for television. During filming, Tori reopened another wound. While cleaning out a massive storage unit, she found reminders from her first marriage to Charlie Shanayan, the man she had left years earlier when she began her relationship with Dean. Guilt and regret surfaced fast. Her therapist suggested she apologize and seek closure. Tori agreed, believing she needed to face that past to move forward. Dean was terrified. He admitted on camera that he feared she would remember how good that life once felt. They met at a church Charlie chose, without cameras. After 2 hours, Tori returned in tears, saying Charlie had carried years of public judgment and pain. She called him a good man. When she told Dean that Charlie was smart and nurturing, the fear on his face said everything. Years passed, but peace never came. In May 2023, a new nightmare surfaced. After 3 years of unexplained illness, a professional inspection found extreme mold inside the rental home where Tori and her children lived. The house was labeled uninhabitable. Tori shared online that the mold had been slowly poisoning them for 3 years, while doctors failed to find answers. On May 10, 2023, she revealed that all 5 children, ages 6 through 16, had been stuck in an endless cycle of sickness. Moving was nearly impossible while everyone was weak and bedridden, but the truth finally explained everything. Before the discovery, the family had lived in constant medical chaos, rashes, dizziness, fatigue, fevers, respiratory infections that never cleared. Starting in January 2023, urgent care visits became routine. At first, Tori brushed it off as kids bringing illnesses home from school. Then, the cycle never stopped. They would recover briefly, then fall sick again. No doctor could explain it until the mold inspection confirmed the home itself was making them sick. Leaving the house created a new crisis. By July 2023, Tori and her 5 children were photographed staying at a motel in Woodland Hills that cost about $100 per night. A month later, they were seen living in an RV at a campground in Ventura County. Camping gear surrounded their temporary shelter. Sources said she was struggling financially and had nowhere stable to go. For months, the family bounced between temporary places with no real home. Desperation spilled onto social media. Tori posted photos of mold damage and urgent care visits, begging followers to help her find a mold lawyer. She wrote that her kids were sick and could not get better. When paparazzi photographed her at the motel, she confronted them, asking if they were parents and if they understood doing anything for their children. She even shared messages claiming her realtor mocked her situation. The fall from her privileged upbringing was now painfully public. At the same time, the financial damage was crushing. Court documents later revealed over $1.7 million in tax debt. More than $1.2 million was owed to the IRS and over $500,000 to California tax authorities. Additional debts piled up, including $37,000 to American Express, nearly $400,000 to City National Bank, $288,000 owed to a private school, and tens of thousands more elsewhere. Dean's income had dropped to about $3,800 per month. Tori's varied between $3,000 and $6,075 depending on work. Safe housing felt impossible. During this period, her mother, Candy Spelling, remained distant. Worth an estimated $600 million, Candy had been estranged from Tori for years, following Aaron Spelling's death in 2006. Though there were brief moments of reconciliation, the relationship stayed strained. While Tori lived in motels and an RV, reports said Candy offered housing help that Tori declined. Only after Dean announced their separation in June 2023 did Candy reach out again, offering reassurance that the children would be secure. The stress eventually broke Tori's body. On August 17, 2023, she was hospitalized in Los Angeles. Days later, she posted a photo of an IV, saying she missed her kids. That same day, she was photographed leaving the hospital in a wheelchair, bruised and visibly unsteady. She never explained the medical emergency, but it came after months of mold exposure, homelessness, and relentless pressure. The images shocked the public. The marriage officially ended soon after. Tori separated from Dean on June 17, 2023, and filed for divorce on March 29, 2024. By November 2025, the settlement revealed there was nothing left to divide. No spousal support, no child support, just debt. Over $1.7 million in unpaid taxes, credit cards, loans, medical bills. Both walked away financially broken. Income records showed brutal instability. Tori's monthly earnings ranged anywhere from $3,000 to $75,000, depending on work. Dean earned about $3,800 monthly as a counselor and carried over $215,700 in personal debt. Neither had stability. The tax debt loomed larger than ever. One lifeline remained. Tori secured full rights to her Beverly Hills 90210 royalties. Residuals, book earnings, podcast income, pensions, and her personal brand stayed with her. Dean kept vehicles and a motorcycle. The 90210 income became her most reliable support. Without it, everything would have collapsed completely. By January 2026, Tori Spelling's net worth sat at about $150,000. She had grown up in a world shaped by a $600 million empire. Her father left her $800,000 in 2006. 2 decades later, it was gone. Reality shows, books, businesses, all gone. She admitted she never learned to manage money and trusted others with everything. The result was liens, seized accounts, and nights spent in motels with her children. There was one quiet shift. After 16 years of distance, Tori and Candy reconciled in October 2022. They began texting daily. Candy reportedly assured her that she and the children would be taken care of. Still, no details about inheritance have been confirmed. Candy's estate remains around $600 million, much of it tied to trusts and charity plans. Whether Tori will ever receive meaningful support remains unknown. For now, the question hangs unanswered, arriving far too late to undo the damage already done.